Hello, everyone. We are live once more. Thank you for being here. I'm going to go ahead and start introducing myself. If you all could just let me know once you can hear me nice and loud. I know you can hear me already, but making sure our sound is good. I am honored once more to be here. We just finished a live on Sacred Birthday. Now we are having a live on the 5G. In case you don't know who I am Aurora. I am the founder of Aura Hypnosis Healing, and you can find my services in risingphoenixaura.com, my website, where I also offer Akashic readings, alchemy classes, Reiki, angelic alchemy healing certifications, both for Aura hypnosis and Reiki certifications for Raw. Reiki Angelic. We have retreats also where we are certifying people. We are this year. Happy New Year. Yay. Happy New Year 2020. We are certifying, we're going internationally as well to some different places, not just in the United States, to certify people. So thank you for joining us. And that is all there. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and also click the top right bell so that you could receive notifications when I go live. That way you won't miss them and you can be here interacting with us. Thank you. It is an honor to be talking to you. Today I awoke with great fierceness, curiosity, in a beautiful, loving manner where I needed to I was on a mission, you can say, especially today is such a beautiful day, 1/1/2020. And it is a beautiful way where we can that actually adds up to the number 6, which we've talked about the number 6 in past channelings, that there has been negative programming on that, but basically it's a circle and then a building upon energy. So things that we are here stuck in a circle, and then we're building with that little line that goes up, that arc that goes up in the number 6. Okay, so thank you. And plus we have the 1/1. Every time we see the 1/1s, it's new beginnings, new creational flows. And today we are talking about 5G. Now we're going to talk about specifically, hello everyone. Thank you for the love and the support. Thank you for the comments as they're coming in. I love you all dearly. I am blessed. I am gloriously blessed to have you in my existence, as I'm sure that you feel the same about me. I love you all dearly. Thank you. Okay. Now, you can feel free to add your questions along the way in the comments. When you add them, if you could write question right before the question, that way it's easy for us to find them. We do have Lily, Minnie, and Lily. I'm not sure who will be on chat, but one of them will be on supervising, making sure that we are not distracting on purpose. Some people join as spammers on purpose, distracting from the channel. And as you all know, everything I do with great love, honor, and respect. So it's important that we respect each other's, differences, opinions, and we love each other, not in a infringing manner or negative manner. Very good. So the importance to 5G. What's going on recently is I was watching The Voice, as I love watching The Voice with my family, because there is some great beauties to listening to someone hearing. We just kind of watch it. I watch it as I edit my videos or reply to my emails. It's in the background. I'm a great multitasker. But the vibration when people sing, it's beautiful. Really, it gives you goosebumps. It brings you to tears and so on. So we were listening, and then I saw a commercial come on, and the commercial said T-Mobile, first cellular company that is rolling out nationwide 5G, nationwide, the very first. And my heart sunk, and I'm like, oh, here it is. It has begun. As you all know, we've talked about this through past channelings. Again, if you're new to our channel, I do channel the Raw Collective, and as benevolent beings from the high dimensional 13, 12 dimensional beings, which are basically a multi-race of benevolent beings that we channel. And I strongly surround myself with force fields of love light to ensure that all the channels, the information that comes through, goes through a multiple of filters, which we're going to be talking more about that. Okay, so today I wanted to make a video as far as an awareness, as I was awoken by Archangel Michael and the Raw Collective, that it was extremely important for us to touch base on this, as now it's coming into play. It's rolling out. What are we going to do? Are we going to let it roll out upon our neighborhoods, upon our children's school, upon our offices, or are we going to stand up and do something about it? What are we going to do? So today we are combining things that we've shared through past aura regressions as well as channels. We're also going to be combining some information that other beautiful channels as well have shared, whether there are a in a trance channel or whether they're just speaking from their heart, just consciously. These are important things that for you to find some of these pieces and put them together for you. Now, we've talked about 5G, and something that was extremely important for me from the beginning, 5G, was that because I can sense and feel it and see it as part of who I am a seer. So when they show me and bring something into my consciousness, I'm able to sense and see what exactly this is. So, as one, first of all, let's talk about this T-Mobile ad. Okay. I actually recently I had T-Mobile a couple years ago, and they told me to change. Here we go. I have a different servicer now. What we're saying is, if you have T-Mobile, what can you do to stop this? They're rolling this out. They're part of this 5G network, and they're going to connect themselves to all the different antennas and boxes that they have, negative technology boxes, that harness the 5G technology of of the fast speed, right? We all want the fast speed. Everybody wants the fast speed of internet. 4G is plenty fast. We do not need to go into the 5G. We do not need it. It is something that is of course there is great beauties to everything, and there's also negativities, but with this there is beauties because it's going to bring forth awareness to humanity. When unfortunately, when things that become harmful to each other or to our families, when these 5Gs are going to be in the proximity, that's going to actually awaken people and look into what is causing it. Now, those of us who are awakened and are very much aware of these energies, it is important that we start standing up for these situations and these infringements of negative technology. What I can tell you that this negative technology was not created benevolently. It was created negatively from negative aliens from specifically the Archon race, the Archons that are not from our source of love light. They are completely a different type of embodiment of energies, or I don't even know if you could qualify them as energies, but they're soulless type of technology, intelligent technology. Okay. Now, they basically created this 5G. So then they implemented it into the people who are really operating from a brain frequency only and not so much going into the heart. Now, again, there's both roles. There's, like I said, roles where it's causing. We can look at it in a way where we can benefit from it, and then the biggest thing that I'm talking about today is how it will be, affecting us and what we can do through awareness for ourselves and our family, our children, our neighbors, the children just in schools or so on, our co-workers, what we can do to assist, and some of the actual awareness and truths of the 5G. So, for example, if you are part of this T-Mobile, that's rolling out. They announced it. They were very proud of it too when they announced it on the commercial. They're the first, cellular company that's going 5G wide and nationwide, and they're really, high and mighty about that. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to talk to that company, and are you tell them, I'm leaving you because you got 5G? Nope, not doing it. I'm not connecting to it. Our cell phones, our technologies already wired so that once they put in these routers, these 5G boxes of frequencies that are honestly weapons, it'll basically just be able to tap into our cell phones, and whatever we have is going to tap into it and amplify it. So the more we support companies like this, then the more we are allowing for this to occur. We should stand up. There is countries out there that are saying no to 5G. Why is our country not saying no to 5G? Now, we're going to talk about what it looks like, though, scientifically, energetically, spiritually, what 5G looks like. Okay, now Let's see. So in the description of this video, I have included links for you to take a look at. So this is not just coming from my form of communications or the higher selves of my clients. This is coming forth from many types of platforms and different people out there. Now, in the link, you're going to find under the item details is you're going to find a lovely gentleman. And this video is kind of old. It's about 3 years old, but our beautiful Zen, thank you, Zen, came across it and showed it to me. And it's just a 7-minute video. And he's talking about how he is the one that is installing 3 years ago all these 5G boxes and antennas and towers, connecting it to the actual antennas and towers, this technology, wiring it up so that it can go live. And he's talking about the concerns about it. He's talking about how the 4G is powerful itself. When we go into the 5G, that it is being amplified 15,000 times more. We're not talking about 100 times more, 1,000 times more. We're talking about a radioactive wave that is being amplified 15,000 times. Do you understand the severity to this? Now, throughout time, I, as a healer that is here to be awakening people, catalyzing these understandings from people, I've been trying to talk about it in different avenues and forums and group sessions and even more importantly through these videos. Now, unfortunately, as I've been talking about it, there's people who, and I got to tell you, the percentage is higher versus the people who are realizing the dangers to it. Then at least in these group environments that I've been part of, they outwin, say, people like me who are working from a heart frequency and understanding how dangerous it could be, not only for us but the children. And they feel that we who are talking about this, and this is part of the programming, they're being part, healers, light workers are being part of the programming themselves. They are adding on to it. So they're saying that, this is fear-based, what we're talking about. Rise above that. You don't believe it, it won't affect you. Basically, this is a side that angelics tell me this is a side that's not coming from a heart frequency. This is a side that itself would be coming from running away, becoming real fear-based. When you run away from something and do not address it, then you are hiding from it. You're running from it. It is similar to how many times have we seen throughout creation that there was someone being harmed in front of us, or we were the one being harmed in front of a group of people, and no one said anything to that. No one said anything. The young lady being hung or burned because she was connected to the herbs and she loved soaking in the sun and maybe walking barefoot. She was hung and burned. And thinking that this is not going to affect you and doing and saying nothing about it is just as bad as those people who watch her burn in fear. This is not we are in times, we are in the most beautiful times in creation right now, that we need to take advantage, and we need to stand forth in our fierceness, in our awareness, in our sovereignty, in our empowerment, in the beauties that we are, and the infinite power that we have of love. And we need to stop and say, no, enough's enough, and you are not going to put this in my office where it's going to drive me absolutely insane. You're not going to put this in my children's school, and you're not going to put them in my electricity pole right in front of my home. You're not going to do this. Now we're going to give you different ways on how you can oppose this and stop this. And similar to how we were talking about with the sacred birthing with Minnie, my assistant, and how so many oppositions she came across. No, you stand forth and you're like, no, and you gain others to understand. Yeah, your neighbors might look at you a little bit like you're crazy at times, but just planting that seed and helping them understand. So be part of that what is rising from the oppression. Don't be of that oppression that has kept us in this ongoing cycle and cycle, repeated cycle that cannot be broken. Be part of breaking that cycle. Be part of transmuting and clearing that cycle. Be the way showers. Be the leaders. Do not be the followers anymore. Follow your own self. Honor yourself. Respect yourself and you and your loved ones. Okay. All right. So let's see. So that is a video that you want to watch from a man that put the technology in. And our love to him for being brave enough to make a video about it. Goodness. Now, let's talk about some of this. Let's give you some examples. So, some of these things that are not shared publicly that are hidden from you. So, I have had clients that come to me for the Aura hypnosis or Reiki healings. And when they come to me, they are in a panic. I will give you an example. There was a lady that came to me maybe about a year ago, and she needed, I believe we did a aura. Yeah, we started off maybe with A.U.R.A, and then we did a aura regression hypnosis healing on her. The goal was basically what was occurring with her is that she lived in an apartment complex. In this apartment complex, she was going paranoid. She was feeling paranoid. She could feel and sense the negative energies and technologies that was going on in that apartment building. There was technology. Actually, there's another one on that. I'll explain that. But there was basically chemicals being thrown in, and she explained to me, thrown in through the ventilations, through the heating and through the air conditioning. They were putting a chemical in through the system. This building complex had several complexes in it, and they were using it, and this chemical was going into breathing and control and affecting and making you ill and sick. When she addressed this with her doctor, saying that she was feeling ill because of this chemical, she was put into a psych ward. She was placed on hold as she was mentally disabled because she brought this awareness to the doctor and to the people who owned this building. They targeted her. She ended up being in a psych ward for at least, I think, 2 weeks that they held her legally. And then she was able to finally get herself out. And even then, she was finally in this apartment. They told her that she needed to move herself out and that they didn't want her to cause commotion. These people living in this apartment building had no idea that this chemical was being sprayed onto them and making them in a control, altering their brainwaves, controlling them negatively. This is another form of negative technology. And the reason why we're talking about this particular building, a building complex, an apartment, a condo complex, a high rise, is the reason why they would target these is because there is, what better way for them to target is a group of a building, because there's many families there. There's a population in a small, say, section of spacing. Even though it goes higher, there is a good amount of harvesting of energy there that you will be that they can easily target there. People who own these buildings, who are own all these different you know complexes, and people don't realize that that's occurring. There's children there. That are breathing these chemicals in, that's making them ill, that's making them sick, that is giving them anger, that's making them bipolar, depressed, different things that could be controlling their brainwaves. That is one. And then I recently had an aura maybe a month ago where the lady came to me, and she lived in another country. She had recently moved to come closer to her family, and she lived in an apartment complex. The minute she moved into this apartment complex, all her illness and sickness, her health started deteriorating, and she was feeling constant negative technology upon her. When we did the aura regression, we were trying to we helped her remove some of these negative technologies that were inserted. I won't be able to he'll share her session for safety reasons. Now, she basically, what was going on with her is that this tower itself had a 5G tower, and she felt like she was energetically going insane, crazy, couldn't stand it anymore. And what they suggested for her was to move, because this complex was bought by a military um, high shot, and owns this, and they're basically just using all these people in this complex like experiments, testing out how will this 5G, how can affect it, how will this affect them, how will it affect some people, and how will it not affect some others. The other thing that we are talking about is that with the technician video that you're going to hear, he talks about how this is being amplified, right, 15,000 times more. He also talks about how it's in time. It will take time. So then I asked, I was like, okay, so let's figure this out. Why will it take time for it to be registered into the body? So then I was shown basically that the reason why they're doing that is because um what easier way? They don't want something that's gonna right away like affect someone, and they're gonna realize, oh, I have cancer cells within me, I have illness within me the minute that they come into it, because they're gonna be found out right away. So similar to the shots, and again, I have to state that I am not a licensed physician. You must see your doctor. I have no part in that. And this is just stories that I'm sharing from my communications from my higher self and my galactic soul family, as well as the higher selves of other clients that I have speaking through hypnosis and so on. Now, they with immunization shots, they give these shots, and it's little by little, it works within the DNA, the double helix structures, the chromosomes within us, our cells, slowly deteriorating it away, affecting us, affecting the children. So that way it could be slowly creeped in, and people will not notice it. It's genius. It really is genius. Um, Now let's talk about, with that, as it slowly deteriorates the cells, what they've showed me, and I also added a video from my colleague Todd Deviney, and he is the author of Expansion for Ascending Consciousness book series. He is also a QHHT practitioner as well. And he is basically benevolently being given this information and writing it down. He speaks about science, basically, where I speak more of the spiritually loving sense. He speaks about actual science and how this looks. So I did put the video here that you want to watch, where he talks about more of the science detailedly for you, so that you can understand that point of view. Now, with that is that these boxes, you can look it up. Just type in 5G Google box, they'll show you the technology is. They're like kind of white boxes, and they're connecting them to the poles right in front of your home. They're putting these boxes in the offices. That way the 5D radioactive, it's basically, it's like a bomb, an atomic bomb, but except for it is sending out the waves in a way where it's not like an instant explosion, like boom, and the radioactive waves have hit you in that instant. It is sending them out intensified. And then I also have some facts here for you that thank you, Lily, for helping me acquire these, and all my assistants lovingly thank you for always assisting. Basically, the 5G is compared to the 95 gigahertz, and that is so powerful that basically the military has transmitters that are using 95 hertz. Those frequency waves penetrate the skin and causing heat. It penetrates. That's how powerful this 5G is. It's at a weapon. It is a weapon against humanity. Now, I'm speaking of this for the children, most importantly. Hold on, my light. There's something going on with my light. Okay, I'm back. How's it go now? I think we're still live, right? We're still good too, right? All right. Wi-Fi didn't go. We got some protection around it. Okay. Um, yes. So we've shared in the past some of these solar sound weapons that they're doing their testing out into the water, and then they're killing whales and dolphins in a collective in a high amount of energies. Okay, and this is similar. It's like it's a weapon. It's a weapon against humanity. Now we're stating this to you again, not to become fear based. It's for you to stand up. Nothing that I will ever share ever will be a fear based. It will always be of awareness. How can we help one another and embrace one another and lift each other and support each other lovingly, compassionately, sacredly, respectedly? Okay. And again, I am doing this for the children. A lot of adults could be listening to this and they're like, oh, it's not going to maybe affect me. I'm fine. What about the children? This is my biggest issue with spiritual healers who think that they're high and above, and in a sense make them put themselves place themselves on a pedestal and think they're high and mighty above this. Okay, you think that you can overcome this. Now this is where my mother instincts come in. What about the children? And it does not matter if you birth those children and the children, it does not matter. We are all mothers and fathers and uncles and aunts. We are just as much as we can be just as much as important teachers, principals. We can be just as important to these children's lives as a parent. Okay. Now, working with that is we are, and I'm trying to keep track of the comments here. And what they explained to me is they showed me a cell. Okay. So what's going on with say we're gonna use human terms that they've taught us, a molecule cell, right? Now this molecule is being targeted this 5G radioactive wave. What that happens is this basically starts deforming the cell. So every single cell within us starts being affected by it if you're openly unaware of it. Now, of course, if you are aware of 5G and you are awakening in the process and you're aware, you're wearing crystals, you're placing intents as you wake and before bed of force fields of love light to filter some of this out, which we'll talk a little bit more about, then absolutely the shielding can help filter this out. What we're talking about are people who are wide open, who have yet to awaken, who are still part of the programming and the system, and the children that are part of these people. These children, these beautiful star children, have chosen to volunteer upon Earth. These children, the animals, the animals. We're talking about the children. Okay, so then as we know that the children are going through a process from the minute they're born. They're going through a process where their cells are multiplying, building, um, transforming, right? Just to grow that bone, to grow that nervous system, to grow the gland, the organs within them. They're going through a beautiful transformation. Think about how beautiful that is. That transformation that they're going through week by day, the infant that's going through every day as it's growing, week by week as it's growing, becoming chubbier, longer, taller, up until really, some males believe they say they can grow past 20s. We're going through a process where we're stretching out, we're expanding our physical body. And with every transformation, if we have, for example, a child, an infant that is wide open, so they'll have their own natural force fields, specifically if they organically, might have set that up for themselves, but the majority of people do not. It's a high percentage that don't have these force fields because they have to go through the process, just like everyone has to go through the amnesia of forgetting oneself to remember oneself. So as their cells and their molecules are repairing and building and growing, if you have a 5G radioactive wave hitting them, it's like you're basically placing yourself in a microwave. is the easiest way I could explain. And this radioactive is constantly hitting the cell and cell. Now, what happens to the cell is that it makes it ill. It makes it sickly. It can create leukemia, cancer, illness of you name it. Basically, it's tearing apart the cell. So if you can imagine a cell, imagine it now a molecule in front of you, and it's tearing apart those walls that are its force fields, its energy around the molecules. It's tearing apart it, and then it has to, as this 5G is tearing apart it, then it has to keep building, reconstructing itself. The double helix within our DNA strands have to keep it's tear it apart. It's like cut through, and then it rapidly repairs itself. The body is constantly going through this struggle of being infringed upon, and it has to constantly repair its DNA, repair its molecule, repair its bone structure, repair its cells, repair its muscles, its everything that consists within us and our system. It has to keep repairing itself, and you're putting your body through an overwork load. It's overworking itself. And when you are overworking your physical body like this, again, we're talking about people who are wide open, then what's happening is that it's gonna eventually, the body's gonna get worn down, it's gonna get tired, and it's gonna bring forth deformities within the cells that are cancer. Did you know, we talked about this prior. We talked about infants, how they're injected with a chemical to be addicted to sugar. Did you know that? And one of my students brought this to me, Stephen, and you can find them in my directory. Thank you for this. I had already been shown this in through meditation and dream time, though this is a scientific manner, that the cancer cells can only thrive off sugar. So cancer cells, basically, its food intake is sugar. So if there's none of that, and I'm not talking about natural sugar, and we're not talking about, fruits that have natural sugar. That's different. That's completely different. That's natural, organic. We're talking about sugar, the processed sugar that you are intaking into your body through the different foods and coffees, milkshakes, ice creams that are, wired with the sugar inside. So the cancer cells, so now you have the 5G attacking the cells, right? Deteriorating them, and they keep trying to rebuild. But now you're feeding this sugar. So then it's the sugar itself looks like this blob looking thing. Okay. This blob nasty thing that has roots and it connects. It's basically a negative AI. And then it attaches itself to the cells and it starts tearing apart the cells. What keeps that cancerous cells cancerous is sugar. It keeps that being fed into it. It feeds on it and it keeps it growing and it keeps it alive and it keeps it. If you do not feed it the processed sugar of any kind, then the cancer cannot thrive, because basically you're not giving it food. You're not giving it its intake. So it's just that simple with that. Okay. Now, so let's talk about some ways that we can shield ourselves and protect ourselves from the 5G. We've talked about surrounding ourselves, Jesus, Yeshua, with the teachings from the scenes, to surround yourself with a beautiful, infinite love light, force field of love. It is important, extremely important. And the way that we teach, and the easiest way for you to learn these teachings, is just purchasing Quantum Alchemy Channeling alchemy class that I have instantly available in my website, and you can learn some of these force fields and how to use them around them. Basically, you learn how to work with layering around you, filters around you, and this is what's going to basically help you filter out the 5G negative technology on yourself, your children, and your homes and your cars. Okay. Think about the animals. Think about how sensitive they are. A cat is very sensitive. They can see and sense things, and they're watching and looking all around you, and you're like, what are they looking at? They are heightened. So think about how it would feel, or even like the dolphins and the whales, right? How would it feel? These are higher vibrational animals. Like the dolphins and whales are sixth dimensional beings incarnated into a physical body, healing the water. Now, there are different elements that you want to use to help protect yourself. There's water that you can use as a filtration. Like if you have, say, water radiators throughout your house, you can actually use that water. Or part of the reasons why they removed the radiator waters, because they didn't want people surround their house surrounded by water by these radiators, because the water actually filters out the negative technology waves. Okay, and then that why they, install those units that, yeah, that don't operate off that water everywhere around the home. Let's see. So you would be creating force fields around you so that it could basically go through a force field, a force field, a force field, a force field, so that it could filter out. So once you're up here, every force field is going to filter out more so and more so and more so. And again, we teach that through the quantum alchemy channeling, where you get these teachings from. So you can start working within your layers all the way to the 13th chakra of that we work upon within our consciousness and our toroidal sphere of consciousness. Okay. So those are ways that you can filter out, block out, not allowing for it to come at you just straight on. Okay, so let's see if there's anything else that I want to make sure I don't miss anything else. And then let's see what other questions you all have. And then I also, through Todd's video, they talked about how legally you can get an EMF meter and say that you discovered one of these boxes in your front pole of your neighborhood, and you could go read the frequencies on it, and then you can take legal matters into your hands and read, basically jot down what that amount of hertz and those radioactive waves that are harmful waves that are coming out, and then take initiative, talk to, legal matters, and talk to a lawyer in whichever form that you can think of and come across, to get that 5G out of, your neighborhood, of your children's school, because that's the places that they're going to be putting at. They're going to target those places where there's a collective of souls there, which are schools, office, sky risers, all these different antennas. They're inserting it into them. They've already done it. And we have companies, like I said, T-Mobile, that are now rolling that out. Yes. Okay. And then something else that we have here is some other advice that you can do. So something that's been provided here as we were researching, thank you, Lily, again for your assistance, is that once you are aware of the smart cell tower that is being added to your community, what you can do and your neighbors is you have the right to moralize and request its removal due to no factual data stating it is not harmful. You have the right for that. Again, you have a right to moralize and request its removal due to no factual data stating it is not harmful. So that's a way that you can request for the company that placed that there to remove it. Have the different, there's many different researches going on right now that are occurring within the internet that you can find that can help you bring forth some of these actual findings, scientific proof of how it affects. We've already talked about how it's a weapon. It has the same type of power. We're not. They've been using us, as guinea pigs for such a long time. It's time, to step forth. We are safe enough now. Do it. You're safe enough to step forth and say enough's enough. I'm not an experiment. I'm not a guinea pig, nor is my family, and you can't do this to us. Okay. So let me see what other questions you all have here. Okay. Yeah, so there's many studies out there that you can look into how it affects the physical body and how it starts deteriorating at it. Okay. Let's see. Some of these things that people go to, like vertigo, is most likely it can be at times being caused by the 5G, but of course it could be other things as well. But yes, it could be giving them dizziness, headaches, and people are going to the doctors. It's another way that that they are looking to make money off it, unfortunately. Yeah. Money off people becoming unhealthy. And what is the worst is the children. The children are just as sensitive as the animals are. They're extremely sensitive, and it is not okay to be using these radioactive weapons on the children. That is not okay. Stand forth and don't let them. Don't let them. There's other things that are going on right now, since we already knew that the 5G was rolling out, because we weren't standing up fast enough. Also, the United States is going to be very much targeted because it is a very heavy populated. We are one of the highest populated countries, and what better place than to target the most populated areas where they can affect the collective even more so. And so we have talked about implants. You can watch that video where I made a live clip on what are implants, hooks, and portals. We talked about implants. Now, there are those of you who were in recognition and were aware and did recognize, this 5G is a concern, and did accept uh, aid from your higher self. There is negative implants that are placed, within us that affect us and stop us. You can again watch that video. However, there's also positive implants that your higher self lovingly, in unison with you, would energetically place in your energy body, uh, so that you can be able to reflect away the 5G radioactive, to shield from it, to filter it out. So that's another form that you can do this. They showed me in dream time that there is a high percentage of light workers that understood this and came out of their ego and went into their hearts and understood that this was a weapon, and ask for aid from their higher self. And do you all, who are aware of this, most likely already have this positive implant that's going to help you not feel the intensity of these 5Gs. So there is that as well. Lovingly, benevolently, always working. Whenever you ask for your higher self, ask for lovingly, for my highest good, without overstepping boundaries, without harming anyone. Always, you want to state that, working with any kind of alchemy, energy exchange, without harming anyone, that way you create a beautiful balance there. So let me go through and see if I have any questions here. It looks like we addressed the facts of it, and I'm going to go ahead and start ending this in a couple minutes, but I'm going to see if I'm going to run through, and whatever I see question in front of the statement, I'm going to see if we can answer it. If I don't see question in front of your question, you might want to do it now, because I don't have time to read through everything right now. So I'm trying to move fast enough for you all. I see a lot of comments. Thank you all for your support. Let's see. I don't see anything with question in front of it. If you have one, go ahead and write it now. Let me think and see if there's anything else they want to add. I know we were very clear on everything, so not too many questions might come forth from how clear we were. I don't see any questions. Well, it is an honor to be here with you as always. I am in awe of you and your great beauties and the growth that you're having. So someone just wrote here, for example, Seaside, California. One of my assistants wrote five cell phone towers were denied in Hillsborough, 16 cell towers denied. It can happen. We can deny them. These are people who are being an example for us, and we're denying them. There's resources out there that you will have to look for and not give up so easily when you can't find them. There is. So, help out yourself, help out the children, the animals, help out the collective, help out humanity. So, and then I have someone who asking a question, and we'll end it at this. William just reported for California mandatory. Yes, yes. Well, that happened some time ago where they made mandatory for all shots in the California area to be given, or else they couldn't be around children in schools, which is really sad. Again, it's something that you work with your galactic, your soul family, with your intense and transmuting, clearing, and using the elements around you to transmute these. Say using sacred alchemy that's within your soul, remembering how you are this beautiful transformation. Therefore, you can transform some of these negative energies within you, protecting your children and so on, and your family. Can the Galactic Federation protect us? The Galactics, what I call it, the Raw Collective, are there. They're infinitely there. They are there. We just need to ask. We don't ask enough because we've been programmed once more that we shouldn't ask. We're paid to ask. Ask questions, ask for aid. We're a nuisance. We've been trained to that. So then we have to deprogram ourselves. Ask. Every day when you wake, when you go to bed, ask your higher self, ask your soul family, your benevolent soul family, ask them for aid. Thank you. Love you all. Curious says, we love your teachings for the collective. Thank you. Thank you. And I love you all. I love you all. I will see you all soon. I will not be here Friday as I'm going to take the day off since I gave you all 3 lives already this week. So I'm going to take a little break. And then I am also preparing for the retreat coming up for the Aura and Raw retreat in Siesta Key in Hawaii coming up as well shortly after that. I will not be here next Friday because I will be at the retreat, but I'll see if I can squeeze in at least one video next week at some point for you all. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. And if you want to join us where we teach how to ascend from these negative AI control, from this non-organic matrix system, join us. Join us at the Siesta Key, Florida retreat, which is exactly in about 10 days. It's January 11th. The airplane tickets are extremely affordable to fly into Florida, Sarasota, I believe you fly into. Love to see you there. There are only 3 spots available, and I'd love to see those beds filled. Thank you all. Love you all. I love you with all that I am. I honor you and I respect you. Thank you, Minnie, Angelique, and Lily for assisting here. Love you all. Blessings.